Fourth reason that a gym owner might not be making $100,000 per year is that their retention is poor. Very few people focus on retention. In fact, the industry average for micro gyms is just under 8 months. Well, that's a shame because 8 months is not enough time to change a client's life. That's what's most important here. But the other thing to remember is that if you're only keeping a client for 8 months, that means you have to replace every client in your gym every 8 months. You're going to be spending a lot of time marketing to refill that bucket. You're not going to be giving all of your attention to the clients that you do have. And unfortunately, word gets around. In a small town like mine, where you've got 1 degree of separation, people who have done CrossFit even 10 years ago say, oh yeah, I tried CrossFit, now I'm moved on to this other thing, right? Sometimes they do come back, but it's kind of rare. So it's really important that you keep, especially the first people who join your box, you want to keep them for a decade. Then you want to keep their families, then you want to keep their coworkers, and then their friends. We found in our research that if the average gym owner could move that number from 8 to 12, that they would make another $40,000 in net owner benefit per year. So this is a really powerful thing to do, but it's not the sexy, glamorous marketing strategies that most people want to talk about. So how do you improve your retention? Well, your first goal is to keep them for 14 months, because at that point, 14 months, you're not losing them faster than you're gaining them. You can actually build your business if you're keeping your clients for 14 months. If not, you're just trying to fill a leaky bucket. Okay. So here's how you do it. You add on ramp, the same strategy that helped you boost your ARM. You can map out your client journey in advance. So what you would do, and we do this in our ramp up program, is you map out a client's journey over the first 2 years. And you say, okay, at this point is your NSI, your no sweat intro. And then here's their first session. And then here's their third session. And then here's where we invite them to try a group. And here's their first 90 days. And at that point, we ask for referrals, and we also, set them up on a goal review and give them a new prescription, et cetera. And if you map that out in advance, and you create all the little touch points with the clients, then retention is boosted by about 3 months just by doing that. You can also hire a CSM. A CSM is a client success manager. This is a person whose sole responsibility is retaining your clients. I would hire this person before I hired a sales or a marketing person, because every person that you keep compounds. Every month that you can keep them, their value multiplies on itself. So a CSM role is somebody who is very empathetic, very right-brained. They care a lot about a client. They're never going to forget a client's birthday. They're sensitive to when a client isn't showing up or something is off, and they call them up right away. I am not good at this. And so my gym has always had a CSM since about 2010. And she called herself the Joy Girl back then. And her job was just basically boost morale, call clients when they were missing class, and execute on this client journey. And then finally, start doing goal reviews. So what we find is that if you're meeting with a client after the first 3 months, and then again after the next 3 months, and you're showing them their progress, you're measuring their progress, here it is, here's how you're doing, and you're realigning on their goals, you're going to keep them a lot longer. Where a lot of gyms lose clients is they never start by asking them their goals. They don't measure their progress on the things that the client cares about, and they never change the prescription. So it's up to the client to guess, like, will this thing work for me? Is it working for me? And will it work for me in the future? The client has to sell themselves on your service over and over and over again. Well, that's not a good recipe for success. The reason that personal trainers keep clients for 5 years and micro gym owners can only keep them for 8 months is because of this goal review process. There's a constant audit of how are you doing. A lot of gym owners who have never been personal trainers are a little scared of this because they're worried that at the 3-month mark, the client might not see progress. But what they don't realize is that the client is trusting you to solve their problem. So if the client comes in and they haven't seen progress and you say, let's change what we're doing, that's okay. And it actually builds trust with the client. But if you don't ask them about their progress, it looks like you don't care. And they're left to guess like, hey, how come I'm not losing weight? Okay. So poor retention is a huge problem in micro gyms. This is one of the very first things that we try to solve in our ramp up program. But these are 4 ways that you can do that on your own.